Okay. Anybody now?
We can start ค่ะพระอาจารย์
Ah,
Jonas will not join today and Sanya also busy for traveling
okay.
and Sepe might come. That
Mm,
is he also invite his friend. So
mm,
let's
mm.
see.
Okay. So we'll wait for maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Other members to join. I'm using this laptop after a long time. Zoom has changed its feature, and further other features are there. It's a bit difficult.
Mhm.
Okay, now I think it's set up. Okay, I think we will start. So
Mhm.
first of all, let's practice meditation together. So sitting in a comfortable position, and relax yourself, and gently close your eyes. And spend some times observing the sitting body. Feel the sitting body. And spend some time to observe the breath coming in and going out. When breath comes in, we know that it is coming in. When breath comes out, we know that this comes out. Let the breath flow naturally, normally. Do not interfere with it. We are sensing the breath, not thinking. Feeling the breath as it comes in and as it goes out, not by thinking. So breathing in and breathing out. Whenever mind is distracted, observing, acknowledging, noting, and let go. And back to primary object. Whatever other objects arises, any distractions arises, observing them objectively, not put it into contexts or not putting into content, not a shape, not a story. Just the another phenomena. Observe, acknowledge, note, and let go. Doesn't matter whether that is pleasant sensation or unpleasant sensation, whether that is pleasant to be or unpleasant. We're simply observing, acknowledging, making a mental note, consciously aware of it, and let go. Now bring your attention to your hands and to your eyes. And creating intention to open your eyes. And slowly open your eyes and come out from the practice. Okay, so good morning, everyone. So today, unfortunately, I won't be able to stay 2 hours practice as I am here in London running this 5 days retreat. So we have been practicing. Today is the fourth day. There are 10 people practicing, and now and then other people also join morning and evening or in the afternoon. This is my second time running this 5 days retreat here in London on behalf of Parat Vithet Panyakun, the abbot. So at the moment now he's in Thailand attending funeral. So since we have already planned for this one, then I thought that we better continue, even though just the half of that we normally do. Right? Before going into the topic of the day, anybody wants to share? Or anybody wants to ask a question? No? Okay. Right. So, a practice of meditation, we have to have an object to work with. And oftentimes we use the breath. Breath as the primary object that we pay attention to. And when we start meditating, quite often we have this confusion and misunderstanding or not knowing how to do, what to do. So there are questions arises that how should I watch the breath? Where should I watch the breath? Which way the breath should be? Like that. And that's simply because throughout the life we have been conditioned to create perceptions on this or on that. When we see things, we put it into contexts as a shape, as a color, um, or even giving a name to this or to that. So with that, we are creating our different perceptions to what we perceive. Now, the practice is not to see these objects through these names or shapes and all these perceptions, but to see the reality of itself. So same with the breath. When we practice meditation as a result, rather than try to search, how should I watch the breath? Where should I watch the breath? We simply watch this breath as it comes, as it goes, feeling the sensation of this breath. We do not have to put into contexts that this breath is like this breath is like that, or I should be regulating this breath to watch, and so on. So that's why the practice of a meditation is to deep perception about the things. And here we are not just looking at the breath as the natural phenomena, but the ultimate goal of this practice is to understand ourselves. Understanding ourselves is the essential part of the practice. Often, normally or in general, we understand that this body is ours, and this body is mind, and this life is me. That's we have perceived, and with that as a result, we project ourselves either by name, either by ethnicity, or either by nationality, or even either by our status, social status, to this self as I am. And when we practice meditation, what we are doing is that to understand ourselves clearly in ultimate sense, that this life that I am is actually a combination of a mind body. So practice of a mindfulness meditation is to see this mind and body clearly. That this is body, this is mind. So this body, again, we think that this is belongs to us, this is me, and this is mine. Um, and we perceive it as the reality. But in fact, it is not the one that we should be holding on to as belongs to us. We have no control over it. It grows, it decays, it moves, it changes, which is the reason we become ill. We become sick, despite we have looked after very well. Weather change, our body also changes. Nutrition that we take, that also changes or transforms our physicality. So we have no control over it. And knowing this reality through the practice is the key. Similarly, our mind too. Our mind that we think we are, again, actually, we have no control over it. If we can control this mind and we think that this is mine and I am, we should be able to stop engaging onto things that we dislike, engaging onto the situation that we are in that really causes harmful or disappointments, but we have no control. As soon as we see things, hear things, smell things, comes to contact with our body, we straight away put our perceptions to it and go on to engaging, multiplying. Mm. So we have no control over this changing mind. We can't unchange this mind. This is always moving from one to another. But what we can do is to stop reacting. Stop reacting is the part that we are learning. When we feel decay or getting old, rather than thinking that, oh, I'm getting old and what I'm going to do, how should I live my life? Not be frustrated, but rather accepting the reality that this is how nature works. Accepting that and live life fully before it comes to the end. We do look after it, but not obsessive about it. Similarly, our mind too. We can restrain our senses so that our mind will not be distorted and our mind, or we don't have the pervasive perversions on perceptions or things that we come across. So the more we develop this mindfulness, then we will be able to recognize these things in these ways. And then we will be happier. So that's why the practice of mindfulness meditation is to understand this five aggregate, the mind body, how it works and how it is fall into natural phenomena. When we understand in such a way, then basically we are deconceptualizing or deep perception of the things that we already had. That's why that's the teaching. So that's the invention that Buddha found when he was meditating under the Bodhi tree. And if you look at it, to find that Buddha himself, for eons of a lifetime, worked so hard, searching and searching, searching countless life. And with that searching for the countless life, he finally understood that the root cause of this continuation and inability to see, actually, that's our desire. Tanha, the desire is the key. And this desire is the fire, and it has a fuel, and avijja, the ignorance. Ignorance about the things that we come across, that we are living or what we are seeing, which normally untrained mind think that this is the reality. And we take it as the truth. And that's how we are living our life heedlessly, without any mindfulness, always running after the time, running after um, to chase our aims. And by the time when we realize it's too late. So there's a root cause of all the problems are the tanha and the avijja. So the craving and the ignorance are the main root cause of rest of other things, which prevents us not to see the reality of ourself, of the things. So here, practice of a mindfulness meditation is a tool, one of the best tool, I would say, uh, to understand it, a true understanding. And it can be done only in the present moment, not by thinking, not by investigating. If we are thinking, again, we go back to the certain perceptions about this or about that. So go back to live in the perception, not in the reality. So when we practice, then we realize that things that's happening here in this very moment is the gateway to the development of the understanding, the vidya. And that is, we can develop it by observing the sensation that takes place the way it is, rather than the way we want it to be. And actually, we are very good at um, creating or commenting or coloring things. As soon as we see, we want to color it as we please. Go into the stories and commenting, which again, almost all the time are driven by our desire. A desire to be, desire not to be. And as soon as there is a desire to be or the desire not to be, then that's the root cause of miseries and disappointments. And which is simply because of the unknown, unknowing, not knowing what should be known. Now, when we practice meditation, rather than going into those perceptions and memories, we observe what's happening. That's why sensation, sensation is the present moment awareness. And this is happening at all the time in the present moment. So in the practice, that's why we contemplate on these things like a sensation and how this sensation transform into emotion and how this emotion remains in us and that bothers us, which normally we call it feeling. So continuation of having that emotional experiences is the short form we call feeling. And that's how we feel all day. And when we are feeling that in such a way, then it transforms our mental state. And that's how our mood changes. Without knowing, mood has been changed. We're happy and smiling and enjoying, and suddenly something happens. And that happens is basically the first sensation or feeling, and then we engage in it, and that continuation of engagement, emotion continues, and that becomes a long-term feeling. When this long-term feelings continues, then that changes the emotion. So it changes the mood. So that's why the practice of a mindfulness meditation is basically knowing the very moment when things takes place, when things happens, and that we can do it by observing the sensation, eh? Observing the sensations, because sensation is always in the present moment. And now if we have a clear understanding of it, then we will not develop our desire on top of it. That we will not develop this feeling of, oh, it should be this way or that way. We will not put it into context or content and perceive in a certain ways or this or that. Mm. So that means we have a true understanding of this sensation itself, that it arose because of two things coming into contact, and we are aware of that. And that won't last long. It's going to change. And this understanding leads to the liberation, leads to the understanding, leads to the knowledge. Whereas when the sensation comes and hits, two things coming together, it creates this spark, and we recognize that. But without fully understanding it, we engage and we transform it into liking and disliking, pleasant and unpleasant. And then after that engagement of a pleasant and unpleasant or liking and disliking, we hold on to it, holding on to it in such a way that we define that is the truth, that is the reality. And that is basically driven by our own desire and then misperception of the reality. And that's the cause of a problem that we face. And once we have this perception, what happens that rather than we investigate on it, uh, rather than fully wisely or investigating and a full understanding or it's called sati sampajanya, so a clear comprehension on that, we just take it as a reality, and that's how it continues to be to be one who is suffering in many lives to come. So practice helps to deep conceptualize things, and then the perception about the things that we come across. And that's the path leading towards true realization a realization of ourself, realization that how we come to contact with the world. And when we come to contact with the world, how we transform things to differently. And here, once we have seen these processes through inner practice, inner understanding, then we able to let it be. And that letting it be is the pathway to find the happiness and liberation. So I offer this as a reflection for all of us today to continue practicing. And with this practice, may you all be happy and enlightened in no time. Okay. So I end for this reflection. And before we practice, if anybody wants to share or ask a question, please do so. The floor is yours. Anybody wants to share? What upon?
I would like to ask some questions. So first of all, thank you very much for this uh, explanation, and it's very true. And we know that is a cause, main cause or root cause of the suffering is come from tanha and avisha. But in the daily life or real life, we live together with the people who never practice with the meditation. How we can live peacefully is maybe difficulty, but to move the further step, that is we already practice this and we know that is we deal with that before we move to the emotion mode, or we can see that in time, or either we lose we lost a little bit, but we come back to the point that we keep practicing and we can manage ourselves. Now we want to expand further how to live with the people who also that is lost in the emotion plus the sensation that they know that is not good for them, but they cannot practice this. How we can remind them, or how we can bring them back to the present moment, which is a sensation, emotion, before they move to the next step, which is will explode to the social, I think you understand what I mean, that how can we adapt to that situation
Mm, mm.
and help them.
So it's not easy one, but we have to remember that leaves on a tree shakes because of the wind. If there is no wind, leaves will not shake. Yeah. So leaf is like our mind. Our mind shakes when things comes to contact with it. And we allow things to enter in our mind. So which allowing actually transform into emotions and long-term feelings and moods. So first we have to learn to restrain our senses. So first we have to be ready for ourselves before we go and teach them or tell them. So first we have to learn to restrain our senses here. When I see, when I hear, when I smell, or when I am with this person, at that time, am I restraining myself, or I am mindful enough? Am I mindful of my thoughts? Am I reacting to every details that people are doing or they are doing? And each reaction, in fact, is causing me trouble, not them. Sometimes they do deliberately with intention, and other time they are doing may not be deliberate or may not be intended, and which we do not know. But as soon as we take it in, then we are disturbed and we can't deal with it. So that's why the practice of a mindfulness meditation is to be able to mindful of anything that comes to contact with us, and then do not put any wish or any desires. I wish they're doing this way. I wish they behave that way. I wish they're nice. I wish they don't come and so on. Nothing. Once we have restrained ourselves and seeing that not restraining our senses can cause such a harm, and we develop a compassion towards other people, those who are mindlessly doing. Those who never practice or those who do not know how to deal with this, they are going through really suffering. They are experiencing great suffering of not knowing and acting like they have, they know. So we share compassion. So when we say sharing compassion, doesn't mean that we want to change them. Doesn't mean that we want them to behave like we wish.
Mhm.
But compassion here, we give them advice that this is how you should behave. This is how you should treat. This is how you should live. It's up to them to decide now, knowing the consequences that may cause others be in trouble and themselves. So when we act in a compassionate way, in such a way, we are not acting with anger within ourselves. We are not acting with a desire that somebody will be acting as I wish. But the pure reaction is to let them realize that what they are doing and what is the consequences and what are the troubles they may have to face. And then we leave them. And after we have said, or after we have advised them, then again, do not harbor the thought that, oh, I have said, oh, I have done my job, it's okay. Yeah? So it's finished. Do not harbor if they are repeating it again. So with that, we acknowledge their faults and we also compassionately guiding them. And that's how we detach ourselves from that mess. And we be happy, we are not affected. So if they are clever enough, then they will uh, reflect on that too. And then sometimes we may have to give them a guidance that go and do some practice so that you will be able to recognize and deal with such a bad moods. But importantly, we have to develop from ourselves and then acting with kindness towards them. And it's up to them to decide whether to continue doing it or whether to change. And the consequences they are going to face is up to them, not to us anymore. Okay?
Very clear. Have to be patient, especially for our family. Just that I got it. Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, right. Anybody? Um,
Yes. Yeah, I like what you just said, that when we think of the other people problem and then it become our problem, because that's the witch that was like, okay, why don't they do that? Why don't they do this? Why don't they say that? Well, why don't they do it this way? Then we witch on them, which we can't control.
mm,
So I think back to what you were saying, that we just have to accept how it is and
mm,
control how we react to it.
mm.
Our reaction is it's the best thing that we can do. Sort of easy to say, but not easy to do.
Yeah.
Because then when we think of something, it's like, oh, okay, this I should not be too involved into it because it's not just about me, it's other people concerned. We should not, and materials are materials. But in a way, when we were thinking of something, okay, I should not take too much time into doing this. There's something that I'm doing it, but um, how to explain that?
Mm,
There's something ongoing that sometime when I'm in my calm, settled mood, it's like, okay, let this go by the process. It should go how it should go. I should not be too attached to it. But in a way, thinking was like, okay, if that happened this way, in the long term, how can I handle this consequence of it?
Mm.
It's like, okay, then I'm getting back to, oh, maybe I should do more. So the consequence will be the way I wanted it to be. Then, okay, this is not the way I should go on with it because it just keep going in a cycle. It's like,
Mm.
no, yeah,
Mm.
let go. But no, if I let go, that is not correct. And the
Mm.
whole thing is just out my own perception. The other person might have no idea what is going on in my mind.
Mm.
So that the thing we should do is like practice more often
Mm.
when things start going in all direction, just to stay in the present because thing will happen how it's supposed to happen. I don't think it's I think the European, the Western way would think of it as karma, but gam and karma, it's absolutely not the same thing. I was like, no, karma, it's not that. It's the action of
Yeah.
what you're doing. Yeah. So a lot of things still like, okay, try not to get involved in how the other react. But sometimes I understand what Rapan said. Was that how can we continue doing what we're doing when we know that the other are not in the same mindset? And how can we continue in a peaceful way, not like disturbing
Mm.
any anything or make it even worse negative
Mm.
consequences after. I'm a bit all over the places too, but I think you understand what I meant.
Yeah. So that's why it's not our duty to change others, but we can change. And we can't change others. We can. Yeah. If they are not doing, it's up to them. But I'm doing different. Yeah. And I am keeping myself peace. That's the key. There are many, many things that we want others to do as we want them to, but we can't. And that reflection, if we look at ourselves, there are so many things within myself I can't do myself. And there are so many things that I want it to be as I wish, which is under my control, and still I can't make it like that all the time. It's always there. So that's why, if you remember, I used to give similes of put the mindful gap of any expectation. Or another one is no one can make me angry without my permission. Yeah? So just need to be mindful of ourselves, mindful of how we live, mindful of what we're doing. So this is under our control. We can do it, but not we can't do it others. Okay. Right. In that case, let's do the another set of short meditation then. Huh? So sitting in a comfortable position again. And relax. Gently bring attention to the object of a meditation. Breathing in and breathing out. And you may reflect on the things that's bothering you. What is the reason behind that bothering? Now we will practice the loving kindness meditation. So bring your attention to the body. Feel the sensations in your body. And bring your attention to your hands. Feel the sensations in your hands. And to your heart. Feel the sensations in your heart. Feel the connection with your heart. As you feel the connection with your heart, generating loving kindness and compassion to yourself. Mentally, you may share loving kindness to yourself. May I be happy, feeling a sense of a happiness from bottom of your heart. May I be free from suffering, feeling of freedom from suffering. May I be free from hatred. May I be free from hurtfulness. May I be free from troubles of a body and mind. May I be liberated, liberated. Similarly, sharing loving kindness and compassion to all other sentient beings, starting from near dear one or any particular person that you think they need the most. Bring into your mind and sharing this loving thought. May you be happy. May you be free from suffering. May you be free from hatred. May you be free from hurtfulness. May you be free from troubles of a body and mind. May you be liberated, liberated. Similarly, sharing loving kindness and compassion to all other sentient beings, starting from the room, the city, the country, the earth, and the universe. Whatever beings there are, visible and invisible beings, may they be happy, sharing the sense of happiness to all sentient beings. May they be free from suffering. May they be free from hatred. May they be free from hurtfulness. May they be free from hurtfulness. May they be free from troubles of a body and mind. May they be liberated, liberated. Now bring your attention to your hands again. Feel the sensations in your hands. And to your body. And to your eyes. And creating intention to open your eyes and reflect for a few moments. Okay, satu satu. Okay, thank you everyone for the day, and I wish you all the best for the weekend. Satu.
Thank you very much, Ajahn. Thank you, my friends.
Mm.
It's very good session. I would say it's very intense, but
Mm.
perfect.
Mm.
All the knowledge is there.
Okay.
Thank you. I will
Right.
practice.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I have to leave a little early, so apologies for that. Yeah, so take care and we'll see you soon.